absolute first. I have so far resisted the temptation to webcast live from my home or from anywhere else about anything really during this lockdown period. And the temptation was great, I can assure you. But now that lockdown is being eased and people have other things to do again, I've decided to take the plunge after all and try something new. This is partly really to do with the fact that I have now finished a very big project that's finally come to an end, and so I have a little bit more breathing space. And also there is another very big project that I've been working on for a while that I think is now kind of ready to go into the next phase. And this seems as good a time as any to try this experimentally. I'm speaking, of course, of Eden by FREI. Now, some of you may have no idea what the hell that is. In fact, probably most of you ain't. But Eden by FREI is a writing project that I started about 5 years ago, in 2015, on the 1st of August. And I wrote this in blog format and posted this one little chapter at a time over quite a while. It took about 2 years, a bit more actually, I think, to finish this. And I'm calling this a concept narrative in the here and now about the where, the wherefore, and forever. And if you don't know what a concept narrative is, then you're not alone. I don't think I knew when I started, which is partly why I called it that. Maybe that I may, without wanting to go into too much detail into this now. I finished this and then decided to repost the whole thing. This was all done in blog format at edenbyfrei.net, and then reposted everything in sequence, in its actual order, the way in which it could be read. Now, this Eden by FREI narration is partly imagined autobiography, partly fictionalized observation, partly poetic storytelling. An entire short story, like the Snowflake Collector, came out of that. There is the Bournemouth and Boscombe trilogy, which is 3 short stories. There are some more traditionally autobiographical bits in there, and so it's a collection. It's a mashup, really, I suppose, of different styles and different types of writing. And as I was reposting this to in the actual order in which it could be read, or probably it doesn't have to be read in this order, but certainly at least within each story the sequence made sense. I also published this as Eden miniatures, as 12 short compacted paperbacks that look like this when they're all sitting next to each other on a bookshelf. This is it. These are the 12 little Eden miniatures, and they're all done now. They're all out and available. And I thought now might be a good time, when people maybe still have a little bit more time on their hands, to start reading them. And that's kind of what I'm proposing to do, starting on the 1st of July, which is this coming Wednesday. And you can see where this is going, can't you? We're talking about quite a lot of writing. I mean, these are very, very small books with quite big print, so it's a very user-friendly way of publishing things. But I'm going to do this. And the question is really not even so much why as why not. The technology exists. It seems to be working. I think with a bit of luck, this is now live on Facebook and live on a dedicated, not my own YouTube channel, on a dedicated YouTube channel for Eden by FREI. And these videos, once they're up there, will stay there so that people can. And the beauty of this all is that, of course, nobody has to. You don't have to actually listen in. You can just simply ignore it if you think this really is not for me. But but on the other hand, if you catch this and think, well, sounds quite intriguing, then this ought to be going on for quite a while. We'll see. If people find it interesting and start to listen, then we'll continue. If really absolutely nobody ever finds that they want to hear this, then I might abandon the project again. And I will also tentatively record these and post them to Instagram, though not live. So if you're watching this on Instagram, it will not have been live there because the Instagram technology doesn't quite work in the same way. There are 12 of these, 12 little volumes, and they start with number 1, Dimensions, which I'm going to start reading here as a bit of storytelling, like bedtime. It's not quite bedtime storytelling; it's early evening storytelling from Wednesday. Not now. This is the introduction to it. This is just sort of me testing the system, testing the software and the hardware. The hardware is super simple. It's my laptop and my mobile, and the software is what's already out there for free. So we'll find out whether this works and whether anybody likes this, and then I'm hoping to do this quite regularly on a Monday and a Wednesday at 6:15. It was going to be 6, but it took me a while to get ready, so it starts at 6:15, and that's actually not a bad time. 6:15, 6:15 seems to be a good time to be doing this. 6:15 London time, so that's British summer time at the moment. If this is all an experiment. So if people were to tell me that, look, can you do this but at a different time, because I would like to watch it live, but at a different time, we might be able to shift it. We'll see. And the whole point maybe of doing it live, this is of course maybe the other question. Why not just record good videos and then put high quality videos online? Well, the idea of doing it live is that maybe obviously, while I'm going to be reading these chapters, I'm not going to interrupt the reading of them. I think that would be silly and would probably disrupt whatever listening pleasure people might have. But I should be able to see any comments if people make comments or ask questions, and I should be able to answer them and maybe have in that way a little bit of an interactive dialogue. We'll see. It's all up for grabs, really, and we'll see how this then goes. And incidentally, these sessions are going to be really, really short. I think, again, that's probably the way to go. The shortest of these mini chapters are probably about 30 seconds long. And I might combine these maybe with the second chapter. But overall, I think the longest ones will be about 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes, about the length of this introduction. Although I'm realizing that I'm already running to about 8 minutes, and so I'm going to cut this right here now because I think that's probably enough for today. And then as we go through them, I will probably also introduce them a little bit one at a time and tell you a little bit what the theme is of each of these individual books. And some of them are quite self-explanatory, some of them maybe slightly less so. And at the end of the series, however long it's going to take, we'll have done all of them, which will be quite exciting, at least for me. And you can share this, of course. This is all public. And for those people who don't like to watch these things on Facebook, this is not going out on, as I mentioned, it's not going out on my personal YouTube channel, but on a dedicated Eden by FREI YouTube channel where you can subscribe and watch these things. So I'm hoping that this might be interesting and maybe entertaining and maybe thought-provoking and maybe, who knows, in a way quite jolly as well. And some of these are not so funny. I mean, this is not really, in that sense, entertainment. It's quite slow and quite unusual storytelling in some respects, and some of it is quite poetic. But we'll see. And so with a bit of luck, I might see you Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, 1st of July, at 6:15 for the beginning of me reading Eden live, starting with Dimensions number 1, which will be onomatopoeia. This is what's going to happen. See you then.